Hi everyone. What you're about to hear is what was originally just going to be a tool for me to look back at sessions of my current Curse of Strahd campaign in order to keep track of important information rather than having to try and take active notes in the moment. This was recorded straight from Skype, which I've done my best to clean up and make presentable. The first chunk of the campaign wasn't recorded with the intention of it being listened to by others such as you guys, so the presentation is a bit off. For example, I started recording this first episode partway into the session, so allow me to bring you up to speed before we begin. Welcome to Curse of Strahd. In the chilling north of the Givortet Empire, on the shores of the Moon Sea, sits the town of Karnstein. Ruled by Lord and Lady Luminurg, Karnstein is full of debauched nobility and suffering peasantry. The rich feast and hunt and revel, while the streets are filled with sickness, poverty, and death. The Luminurgs have announced another extensive gala for nobles across the empire, a masquerade ball to celebrate the festival of midwinter. There will be extensive entertainment from across the continent, hordes of food, and a chance for the rich and noble to congratulate each other on another year well done. Individually, our cast of characters have all made their way to the party with their own intentions. Farthen, the Minotaur bodyguard to a dwarven noble. Sierra Flowers, a halfling bard who finds herself accompanying the band of travellers called the Vistani, who are providing the evening's entertainment. Jemima Linden, the mysterious elf under the alias Lady Jane Del Paso, has come as a +1 to a Lord Shelley Byron. The half-elven rogue who likes to masquerade as a Lord Fox Ripley has made his way into the party as a special birthday treat. And finally, the dour Winter-Eladrin cleric Magpie serves at the hand of a bent and crooked Lord Eleutherius Creighton. Currently, Lord Ripley has found himself engaged in conversation with a Dame Lilith da Verazzi, following on from Lord Luminurg's speech.
So, you heard our Lord's speech, our humble host.
I did indeed.
Yes. Thoughts? Have you been as iron-fisted as I'm sure many have been?
Ah, yeah, you do. You gotta do to get a good harvest in. Not sure I'm quite as, iron-fisted as our good lord, but... And I'm average.
You don't seem to be one very interested in politics, Lord Ripley.
Absolutely no interest in politics. Only disturbs my digestion.
What does interest you then?
I like I said, the sausage rolls. I enjoy fine tailoring.
Are you on for exploration, for histories?
Can't say I've ever really been super into history or study, but I've travelled a fair bit. Do enjoy the travelling.
I have someone that I think you might find more interesting than a lot of the conversation you may find here if politics is not your dish of choice.
Yeah, by all means, Lady Lilith, lead the way.
She begins to lead you over to a table. All the seating here, the section of round tables that line the walls, and at the far end opposite the entrance is a grand head table where sits the Lord and Lady Luminurg and various people making their well wishes and such to the hosts. But just near the head table, we are drawn to a pair, or a rather odd pair. One is a dwarf with a bald but slightly bristling with short grey hair, and then a long sweeping beard that ends a very dour and worn face. His robes and clothes are formal and expensive, but practical. Not nearly how practical as his companion's outfit, the large 7-foot-tall Minotaur standing behind him. Lord Felix Karasi turns to you, Farthen, as the two begin to approach a red-headed man in a alarming outfit and a tall, platinum blonde woman begin to approach. I am afraid, Farthen, it would seem that we are starting to hit the conversation part of the evening.
Oh, great joy!
Promise me one thing. If they try and talk to me about taxes, you will take that axe and you will take my head off with it.
That's, I can make a deal on that.
Very good. I'm afraid the guards may kill you for it, but it's a war at the end. You can,
They can certainly try, anyway.
And Fox, this is the conversation that you and Liz come within earshot of. There's this dwarf and Minotaur. The height difference is some 3 feet between the two of them. It would take a fairly almost golfing-like swing from the Minotaur to take the head off this dwarf. As the dwarf turns around and gives a courteous bow to the two of you. Lord Felix, at your service. How may I help the two of you?
Lord Fox Ripley, Dame Lilith here said something about conversation and interesting.
Yes, Lord Felix, I believe you are the representative here for the Aldermarcy Commission. That is correct. Are you familiar with our work, Lord Ripley?
Absolutely not.
We are, less courteous individuals would refer to us as a adventurers guild. I prefer to think of us more as active collectors of historical artifacts. Your usual tomb raiding or more within bounds archaeology, and we've made some quite good headway through the north of Zaudaviz over on off the mainland.
You may be able to answer a question I've always had about something. What is the line between tomb raiding and archaeology? Like, what is the when does it stop being grave robbing?
It's largely a matter of permits. If you have the permits for it, it is archaeology. If you don't, it's best not talked about in polite company. But I'm sure the two of you are people I can trust.
Absolutely.
But is there anything else I can do to interest you, Lord Ripley? And as the conversation between the four of you, Farthen, you are under no obligation to stay silent during any conversation. I imagine at any point discussing the north of Zaudaviz, you are a very good first-hand account for many out there tales.
Well, it being my home and everything makes sense.
We next turn to a table very close to the head table, deliberately placed so as a place of honor, where sitting bent and grumbling